Uh, awesome, awesome, awesome. With that out of the way, my name is Demi. I will introduce myself a little bit more and chat about myself in a bit. But one of the things I want to encourage you to do is, as you join us, please put your name and where you're joining us from in the chat box. So it's good to see you, Beatrice. Beatrice is in Rwanda. I'm in Kigali, Rwanda as well. So Beatrice, it's good to meet you. Thank you for joining us. Beatrice from Rwanda. Benro is joining us from Lagos. Benro, it's good to have you. How is Lagos today? I hope that all is going well that side, uh, our country people. Um, and then I'm looking forward to seeing, please, if you haven't introduced yourself in the box, hey, let's connect, let's network, let's know. Lagos is fine, that's good to know. Let's connect. If you're joining us on the call, please put in the chat your name and what city you're joining us from. We just want to know and we want to interact with everybody here. So please put that in the chat as we dive into today's session. You can put your first name and then where you're joining us from. Eno from Akwa Ibom. Eno, welcome. It's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to all the other people. I know there's the numbers are increasing. There's 9 of us on the call, and I think we just heard from 3 people. Would love to hear from the other people what where you are joining us from, your name and where you're joining us from. Please put that in the chat. I wanted to jump into the session today. Welcome, Yvette from Kigali as well. Good to know there's a couple of us from Kigali. And today I'm going to, like I said, this is not going to be very long, but is hopefully going to give you a lot of tools and ideas and insights that would help you along this journey of monetizing your knowledge. I believe you're here because you're either already monetizing your knowledge and know a bit about monetizing your knowledge, or you even want to start the journey and start learning what is really monetizing your knowledge and what is that about. Welcome, Mandla, joining us from Boksburg, South Africa. It's great to have you. Welcome, Noella Polyvicia as well, joining us from Kigali. It's super great to have everybody. Um, and just a quick one, I want to make this session, so I'm going to be sharing some things, but I want to make this session about your questions. Welcome, Leon. So I know a number of you asked questions before we got into, because there's a ton on monetizing your knowledge that we can talk about, but I want to make sure that this is super valuable for you. So what I want to invite you to do is to put the questions, start putting the questions that you want us to talk about in the chat. So if you are already monetizing your knowledge, you might have some questions which might be different from somebody who hasn't even started the journey, or you have a specific thing. How do I create a product? How do I price a digital product, etc. Please put those questions in the chat so that I can tailor all of my answers and what I'm going to be sharing with you around the questions. I want to make sure that we maximize the time sharing about the needs that you have and speaking to those. And like I said, today's going to be, I'm doing a welcome and introduction, and then I'll tell you slightly about Planbpreneur Innovation Academy, who are the hosts of this. And then I'm going to jump into some of today's sessions and do a Q&A as well. And then we would have, I'll tell you about Plan B, our Plan B Innovation Academy, our programs, and then what's next. And the next session, like I said, this is session number 3 in our Launch and Grow series, right? And we've been doing it free. We've had more than 200 people register for this session so far in total, and super excited to be able to share what we know, what our guests know with the skills people want to build. So what is Planbpreneur Innovation Academy? Well, basically our mission and what we do, this organization hosting the webinar, or this digital platform hosting the webinar, is to equip entrepreneurial professionals thrive in the future of work and create new income and impact For many people on the call, you probably have heard about the future of work and how that is changing. Now, what we term as employment and job security is changing. And in fact, job security is a myth, right? Because if you look at the data and the study, you find out that these days, employers are trying to reduce their risk because of the volatility of the time. There's a lot of reasons around this, but because of volatility of the times, one of those reasons, but also because talent is distributed almost equally now. Because you can get somebody working from different countries that doesn't have to be in the same country. In fact, two of my team members are working outside of the country. Shout out to Bolaji working from Lagos. Colin is from Zimbabwe. One of my other team members at Planbpreneur. And then we have a number of other team members here in Kigali as well. So what we are doing is really bringing the skills, the experience, and the knowledge that we and our trainers and speakers have used and continue to use to thrive in the future world of work, and sharing that with you, and hopefully exchanging learning from you as well, and building relationships as we thrive and create more income and more impact. So I want to believe that this is the right crowd that I'm hanging out with, or that we're hanging out with tonight. Please put your questions in the chat about monetizing your knowledge. Please don't forget. Now, the Planbpreneur Innovation Academy, I'll tell you a bit more about it, but these are some of the faces of the coaching team that is behind the academy. And if you've joined us in the past week, you'll have met Andrew, you'll have met Lola. Andrew is a coach with Sisters. Lola is the Chief Digital Officer at FBN Quest. Dr. Funshe Shemori is Principal Officer, Regional Officer at the AFTB in Stanford. So everyone that is on the Planbpreneur coaching team are experts who are not only professionals at work, they are also individuals that have built businesses, that are monetizing their knowledge, that are doing what we are talking about, and we bring their experience to you. So a little bit about me. Yeah, great question, Bero. Please keep the questions coming. A little bit about me. I'm based in Kigali, Rwanda, and over several years I've been opportune to both straddle entrepreneurship and what you would call professional employment and consulting. So I've done a lot of things in that space. But today I created a number of platforms which are monetizing my knowledge as well. So Planbpreneur platform is an entrepreneurship platform. As an entrepreneurship expert, coach, and consultant, that's a platform that allows me to work with clients to create products and resources and to continue to increase my own knowledge and impact. Learnable is another platform that is focused, that comes out of my learning innovation skills and knowledge. And so that also is a consulting platform for me, and also a number of products that we've been able to develop for clients through that and all that. And Wengi Design is graphic design. So I started out as a graphic designer a couple of years ago when I was in Lagos, Nigeria. But before then, I went to school to study animal science, and but I moved into advertising and graphics and websites and all that, and run a business in that. But till today, I still monetize that knowledge through trainings, through consulting on projects for people, through products and bespoke solutions, right, that we create. I'm also a faculty for entrepreneurship and international business and trade at the African Leadership University based in Kigali, and I have led programs with partners like the Alibaba Business School in digital transformation and digital entrepreneurship. I've been featured on a number of platforms that have recognized my work, whether as a trainer, as a speaker, as a coach, and there's a number of clients I've also served globally. Universities across China, Scotland, the US, some work with the UN, some speaking with local clients, training and all that. And so and I'm continuously on this journey because for me, my passion is really living out that empowered future of work, continue to create options for myself, my family, and all that, and continue to train others on how to do it. So that's a bit about me and some of the background. Like I said, please put your Q&A in the chat. Last year, the main avenues that I took as I get into this conversation around monetizing your knowledge, the main avenues that I did and earned me multiple figures, 5 figures in USD in monetizing my knowledge include writing a book, publishing an ebook, doing trainings, doing coaching, or no, I didn't do a ton of coaching last year. I did coaching the year before, consulting on a number of projects, and designing content and stuff for people. So I continue to live what I'm teaching you about, and I want to share that with you. And I'm on track to do even better than I did last year this year. So just getting into the meat of it as we talk about it, and I'm looking forward to your questions. I really want to engage about the questions as well. And if this helps, this starts to answer your question, Benro, as a beginner, monetizing simply means converting what you have, have or know into a form people want and can pay for. It is nothing complex. It's just, how do I convert what I know into something that people want and people are willing to pay for? The other thing to say is that sometimes people think about monetizing your knowledge as hey, I'm going to monetize the knowledge today. There's a number of factors. There's a number of things that need to be in place to help you monetize your knowledge, but you can start. And it's a journey. It's a continuous thing. It's not just something that you do today, at least in my experience. And then you're like, hey, tomorrow I'm going to make $1 million or $300,000 or $500,000. But you need to understand the process, and you need to be able to do it repeatedly. And then you can continue to grow and scale it. So there was a time when I would do trainings, but then I would from there I would move to coaching, and I did coaching, and then had more people, and then I would do one-on-one coaching or group coaching, etc. And then my consulting clients also became more meaningful, and it's growth. The principle of growth is also something that you find in monetizing the knowledge. Now, digital is an equalizer, because when I talk about monetizing your knowledge, I guess one of the biggest forms of monetizing your knowledge today is really digital products and digital platforms and digital opportunities. So look at it, 2 things. You have the knowledge, somebody needs it, and you have a digital platform. So what is stopping us from crossing the bridge? That is really the journey of monetizing your knowledge. So digital has made it very possible. I can tell you for sure that between 2020, when COVID hit, and last year, for me at least, digital has really been a game changer, because even before COVID, I used to do corporate trainings in person. I still do corporate trainings, but for a while during COVID, we weren't doing in-person corporate trainings and all that. And monetizing my knowledge through online platforms was one of the biggest game changers. Now, what are the things that stop people from monetizing their knowledge? It's a number of things, 3 things actually, maybe more than 3, but I want to highlight 3. One is a lack of know-how and skill. So how do I go about it? I have this knowledge. How do I translate it into something that people can buy and people will pay for? And how do I actually get the money from them? Because monetization doesn't happen until you get the money in the bank or in your pocket. The second one is lack of action. People here, and there might be people on the call, don't feel guilty if you've heard how to monetize your knowledge, etc., but you haven't really done anything. It happens. A lot of people are in that space where they know that this is what they're supposed to do, but haven't done anything. The third thing is lack of confidence, right? And so people sometimes, the reason many people haven't monetized their knowledge is when you think it's easy for people to do something for free, share the knowledge for free. But when you feel like I need to ask people to pay for this, then the stakes get higher. for a number of reasons, because either you feel, okay, am I qualified enough on this topic to teach people about it, tell people about it? What have I done? What do I know? There are people, in fact, sometimes you might be thinking there are people that know better than me at this, right? And that is one of the biggest things that stops people from doing it. There's also the criticism of, hey, you're just saying empty stuff and you don't really, and sometimes people say, you're saying empty stuff and it's not working, or try to discourage you from monetizing your knowledge, right? So these are hindrances people face. That fear and that doubt perhaps is one of the biggest ones. That voice that says, do you know enough to be able to share with other people, right? And that question that keeps coming and saying, how do you know that what you're sharing with other people? Yeah. Sorry, Benro, I just saw what you said. You said, please give 3 tips again. I've probably forgotten. I might have missed what you said by the 3 tips, but we'll probably get to it. But the hindrances, like we were saying. So, and I wanted to speak to this lack of confidence because it's a big one. We can teach you all the strategies etc. But if that lack of confidence of, do I know enough? Am I able to share with people continues to stop you from monetizing your knowledge, and it's going to be hard to bring it to reality and actually ask people to pay for what you know, because it's important. Now, a number of ways that you can approach it or think about it is, and I'll share this in a bit, and this is part of what we share when we talk about monetizing your knowledge. There are things that you know, right, that other people need to know or do not know as much as you know. Now, if you can help somebody do something or teach them something, then you're qualified, because all you need to do is to be a step ahead of those people in order to be able. There are tons of things that people have done to monetize it. For example, one of the things I do in monetizing my knowledge is, I do a program called Speak Like a Pro. So I train people in public speaking. Now, the truth is, am I the only one who can train people to speak in public? Obviously not. Are there people who might be better than me at public speaking? Probably yes, but the truth is, are there people that could learn public speaking from me? And have I spent years doing public speaking, training and learning and continuing to sharpen my skills? The answer is yes. So that puts me in a space where I can teach somebody else about it. And so those are some of the questions and some of the challenges you have to overcome. But like I said, number one is knowing that you have something that you can give and you can teach to others. As long as new people are getting into this world, as long as people are growing and developing, they're going to need to learn. They're going to need knowledge, right? So you can obviously share that knowledge with them. And absolutely, I will tell you more about Speak Like a Pro if we get to it. But I do that as a coaching. I have been in booking it and some other work on that and monetizing. In fact, my first book, which I did a couple of years ago, I think it was in 2011, it was called Talk Active. It was a book on speaking. The first print, I was back in Nigeria then when I did it. First print sold out 1,000 copies. Then we did more print, and then afterwards I went on to another book. So I've been on this space for a while. I did that book back in 2011. So that's a little bit of a while ago. Okay, so just to give a brief glance at an outline of, you can monetize your knowledge in 2 areas. You can do digital products and you can do digital services, right? The first thing for digital products is really finding and refining what you want to monetize. Number 2 is knowing how to package the offer, pricing it, right? And putting in a form that people will want to buy. The third step is marketing it and selling it. Now, I want to say this, and I will stress this later on. Selling is a critical part of monetizing your knowledge. If you're not going to sell, then you are not going to monetize. It's that simple. Like, if you're not going to put a product before people, because the truth is, how else will people know that you have that product if you do not sell it? So selling and marketing, I should probably use selling because I teach people that marketing is different from selling. But selling is a critical part of monetizing, and of course delivering it, right? So delivering it, if it's a digital product, there are different ways you can deliver digital products. There are digital platforms where you can host that. So I'm going to talk a bit about some of the forms of digital products, especially for people who this is the first time, so that you understand everything. But I just wanted to give you an overview. For services, know your expertise, know what you're good at. So I'm good at entrepreneurship consulting, I'm good at design, I'm good at marketing, learning innovation, speaking, training, and coaching. And I have tailored my products, right, around that. I've tailored my services. And if you see any consulting work that I'm doing, it's usually around that. So the second step, after knowing your expertise and boil that down, and you need to do that work, is understanding how to package your offer, right? Or package it. And then you need to then think about, how do I find clients? So for services, you can start from building relationships and finding clients, but there are multiple ways as well. Is selling and then delivering, of course. Okay. Just a bit of some of the recent products that I've either done free or paid, etc. So I was telling you about Speak Like a Pro, and I did a group coaching program for a number of people, and 4 weeks, $100 per head. That was a while ago. The prices have gone up. I've done collaborations with other people. The Speak Like a Pro masterclass, the Planbpreneur book, the Planbpreneur platform, Crushing Self-Doubt book, the Profitable Side Hustle Toolkit. So I've done workshops, I've done summits, I've done books, I've done online print books and ebooks. I've done toolkits, which we're working on Profitable Side Hustle Toolkit. But that is on the Planbpreneur, and people are buying that, right? Already as well. So these are examples of ways that I have been monetizing my own knowledge. Just a few, just to let you see some of that, what I've been saying. Now, I have a 4-step monetization framework. It's pretty simple. And this is how it is. And I'm going to walk you through this 4-step monetization framework. And then this is going to be the framework. This is a framework that I use personally all the time, but it's also something that you can replicate, you can use, and you can turn into monetizing your knowledge. The first thing, of course, is knowing what your assets are. So understanding your skills, knowledge, and experiences, right? I'll tell you the assets. Assets are, in this case, I define assets as the things you can monetize. So, and we will get to that in a bit. And then the important part of this is, and don't miss this part, how do those things that you can monetize align with the problems that people have? It's not enough to say, I can sing, I can monetize it, but does your singing align with a problem that people have? Now, take for example, I can speak, I can train how to speak, and I just told you about Speak Like a Pro. I have a potential coaching client, right here on the call, because it's probably something that maybe it's a problem, or not maybe just a problem, maybe it's an area of growth that she's is trying to improve in, So you have to think through, number one, what is the assets? What are the things I can monetize? But number two, how does it align with the problems that people have? And I'll talk a bit more about that. Now, how do you package it into a product, a solution, or a service, and then brand and price them? For example, Speak Like a Pro, Planbpreneur, etc., Crushing Self-Doubt. Those are branded products where you want to make sure that it's in a form that people can look at it. So I know how to speak, and the question is, what do I call it? Okay, learn how to speak or something. But we've called it Speak Like a Pro, and obviously that has impacted the people that have gone through that program or have seen that program and have been interested over the years. Okay, and so get it into a product form, and finally sell it repeatedly, right? Sell it repeatedly to create value. So this is what I'll call the 4-step monetization framework that you can even right now just go back and just write this down and say, what is the assets? What can I monetize? What do I have? What do I know? What have I experienced? What maybe that other people do not have, etc. And then what are the problems? How does it relate with the problems or challenges that other people have? And how was the intersection? And then what form of product can I turn it into? Don't forget, like we're talking about digital products right now, there are other physical products, but we try to narrow the conversation more so that we can focus on digital products. And then how do I sell it? Right? There are many ideas for selling. And now let me say this: some people are like, I'm not a salesperson, I don't know how to sell. You are a salesperson. That's number one. You sell every day, but you can also learn how to sell and improve how to sell. And knowing that no monetization is going to happen if you are not selling, right? So that's pretty much important. So now, just diving into the assets. What are your knowledge and experience assets, right? And a number of questions you can ask yourself. And we can even make this practical, right? I want you to put in the chat, what are some skills that you have developed over time? I want you guys to join me. I want to learn from you as well. I want to see you follow through this process. What are some skills that you've developed over time that maybe you can do, that you feel like you can do better than many other people, right? Please put your answer in the chat, right? What is something that is a skill that you've developed that maybe you can do better than other people? Because don't forget, you have to be confident about this capability in order to be able to monetize it. If you don't feel confident about it, how are you going to even tell people and say, I want to teach you how to do this? All right. And of course, the confidence. Yeah. Somebody says writing policies, brilliant. Somebody says teaching. Somebody says business strategy, writing and speaking to a crowd, brilliant. Right. Writing policies, right? Yeah. Negotiating contracts. Hey, Beatrice, you've got a course out there, and I'll be super excited to work with you on a course about how to negotiate contracts. That is a big one. If you put out a course on practical negotiating contract negotiating strategies today, I bet you will get, because I'm personally I'm constantly negotiating contracts, number one, but I'm also working with people that are negotiating contracts. So you probably have an audience already. Writing policies, same thing. Teaching, same thing. Teaching strategies, Bero says facilitation strat. You can teach people there are different parts of it that you can monetize, right? Business strategy. Business is big right now because everybody's trying to become an entrepreneur for obvious reasons, right? Like Planbpreneur will tell you, you need to take care of your money. You need to create the income streams for yourself. What are the talents? I want to see the answers in the chat. Apart from this, what are the talents you have, right? What are the professional certifications that you have, right? That you can monetize? What are the professional certifications you have? For example, personally, I have certification in digital strategy and transformation. Now that has helped me to also consult around digital strategy. It has also helped me to speak around that, right? I've been invited to train in a business school around digital, so it's the certified accountants, right? So accounting, you can monetize. There's a lady in Nigeria that is, what she does in monetizing her knowledge, she just has a website, and you know what she does? She just made a lot of accounting templates. Whether it's she made templates, but she also made, okay, guides on how to do your books, how to do this. There's a ton of content there, and she just put that there on our website. And it's just, you just go there as a business person, because us business people, I'm not the savvy accountant type, so I even hire somebody to help me with accounting and taxes. So as somebody who is a certified accountant, you can definitely create a product that shows people how do you do your returns, your income statement, how do you do that kind of thing for a small business, SMEs. You can do trainings, you can do stuff if you're not already doing some of that. So the certifications are also great. Certified in business leadership, right? Business leadership, that gives you trust. The certification gives you trust, not that you're going to sell this certificate to others, but the fact that, because as we said earlier on, having confidence in what you do is the first step to monetizing your knowledge. And so certifications sometimes give added confidence, but also added trust for people, because they say, oh, you're certified in this, so we can trust you to what you're saying is legit. So if you suddenly put out something in business leadership as well, and then you can use that experience and that certification. Now, another thing is unique experiences, right? That you have had. I remember a time that I did 4 mini books. Now that I did 4 mini books that I sold extensively. One was called How I Made Money Selling Toads. Um, and it comes from a story where in my university days, we used to have this biology, it was zoology practicals, and you needed toads to dissect. For anybody who's into science, you needed toads to dissect in order to be able to pass the exam in zoology. And there were people who couldn't touch the toads or even all that. But you know what? That was a business opportunity for me. And then I went out there, I was catching the toads and I was selling the toads. And then I wrote a book about how I made money selling toads, and I sold the book again. So I monetized that experience as well. But also there are other things, other valuable experiences that you might have had. So for example, my career has taken me across at least 4 countries, right? So if I wanted to write something or if I wanted to do a workshop, and my business has taken me across many other countries in person where I work. And if I wanted to do a workshop and say how to build networks in different countries to grow your business, I can do that, right? Because I have done that. That's an experience that I have gotten. And you can think about your own experience. It might be similar, it might be different, right? It might be how to switch careers, right? Another thing is I've done over the years is reinventing myself professionally. And so I'm able to do a workshop or a product on if you want to reinvent yourself, if you want to switch careers, if you want to switch the path that you're currently pursuing, what are the things that you do? These are things that you can monetize. I'm saying all this because these are ideas, but also these are the kinds of approach that you think. So one thing I want to strongly say that you do is if you haven't done this, really go into it, right? So you talk about teaching. Now you want to break it down. What kind of teaching? What area of teaching? Is it giving feedback in teaching, knowing how to plan teaching outcomes very well to align? Or is it knowing how to empower other teachers, or is it a subject matter expertise in teaching that you want to jump into, right? So the more you narrow down on some of this, the more valuable it becomes. So if you say accounting for creatives, now the person who is a certified accountant says how to do accounting as a creative. Now you're targeting a specific audience. The gist is that creatives are some of the people who don't even like anything to do with accounts. So I just gave you an idea, So if you did something on how to do accounts for a creative business owner, or people that are into art, into painting, into fashion, etc., and all that, and you said you niche it down and you target it to that audience, the likelihood is that you're going to find people that are going to love that knowledge product, whatever form it might take. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is the problems, and I started to talk about this when I started to talk about creatives. So for example, this person, certified accountant, again, the problem, you find people that have the problem. Creative people, like I said, usually have problems with things like data, and you guys, accountants, are blessed with understanding the figures. So you match your what you can do with the person that needs it, and you can sell that to them, right? And you can get that to them. So some of the questions you can ask yourself is, what do people in your target market complain about? So look at the skills that you have, and then you can begin to ask people and say, what is your issue, or what is the questions that you have around this? One of the things I usually do when I'm trying to release a new digital product and all that is I start like a simple WhatsApp survey, and I just ask people, what do you think? What is the challenge? What's the question? And then I get enough validation or enough what's it called? Clarity or insights, and it helps me to shape what I'm trying to do, right? What are the needs and the struggle that you have had? Sorry, not have asked, that you have had as well. So the other thing is, let me tell you the honest truth about public speaking. For me, I was very shy, right? I'm an introvert by nature. So, but over the years, I've improved. Now, the truth is, I was very shy. I couldn't stand before an audience, etc., and all that. And so I know a lot of people that can't do that, wouldn't do that, because I've had those problems and challenges and struggles, right? I'm able to translate that and say, how did I move from that place to a place where I train for clients all over the world? I speak to people virtually and in person, And so those are the needs. What are the needs and the problems that you also have had? So if you look into what are the needs and the problems that I've also have had, right? I wrote a book on crushing self-doubt because I had that as a challenge for a while, but eventually was it got to a place where there were things I did and practiced, right? And so when you look at the struggle that you've had, that you have also worked around, right? Or that you have also figured out, right? It gives you a space where you can actually speak to the problems that other people have. Because guess what? If you have certain problems, the likelihood that another person has them is high, right? Now, what do people compliment you frequently for being able to do well? Over the years, people have complimented me for things like strategy, things like product development, product design. And I figured out that this is one of the things. So I've continued to leverage that. Unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, I haven't done any digital product on strategy and product design and development and all that, but maybe that's in the works, right? That helps me to know what are the problems or needs that I can access that other people would have, but by have, people ask me and say, hey, please teach me how do I manage and juggle multiple things, um, I think I'm working on a course on a coaching to help people see how do you strategically balance and manage multiple things. But I'm trying to do that better every day myself. But the truth is, a number of people see me do that and they compliment me for doing it. And then I look at myself and say, okay, there's something good we're doing here. So you can dig into what you are doing well consistently over and over again, that people are complimenting you for, and that shows what they might need, right? And what they like or what they might want to learn from you. So it's super, super important to make sure that whatever skill that you have, you can target you to an audience that might need it. The example about the accountant, what we did right now was actually saying, was going deep and saying, okay, I am very good at this, but who is not so good at it? What group of people might not be so good at it and might need it? One of my coaching programs, the last Speak Like a Pro coaching I did, everybody on the coaching program was a senior leader, senior manager. And because why did they need it? They had to be making presentations. In fact, one of my clients was a bank manager, and she was having to be making presentations every week. And I remember the experience. And this is the thing also about monetizing your knowledge. When you share your knowledge with other people, it's not only the money that you're going to make, it's the impact. Um, I was working with a friend of mine on the streets, and somebody just parked. This happened last. Was it? No, it was in December. It was in December. Somebody just parked almost in the middle of the road, and she ran out of the car, and she was just calling me. And this was the bank manager that I had coached on speaking, and she was just super excited that she was seeing me because we did the training virtually, right? And she was so grateful because of the change that had happened to her. At that moment, you can't imagine the joy I felt about being able to tell my friends and say, hey, she attended my coaching program. But also, it was not just the money that she paid to me, but it was also the impact to see what I know has been able to help other people. Let me tell you, when you see other people use what you know, it gives you a level of joy that is also in addition to the money, right? So there are people that have a problem for what you think you can do well that you might take for granted and you might not be putting in the form. Now, in terms of digital products, uh, what are the possibilities? There's a number of them that you can monetize. You can do some of them for free. You can monetize some of them, but these are different forms. And let me just walk through them. So books and ebooks, of course, everybody knows what a book is, but then ebooks now are even easier to create and to distribute. I've done perhaps 7 print books in the past, but then and so I know the cost of what it takes to get a book out and to print a book and all that. But then an ebook, if you get your ebook formatting right, if you get the design, if you get the writing right, once you produce the book, you can start selling it the next minute. You know, when my latest, the Planbpreneur Action Guide got out, I literally, we finished the editing, I finished the reviews, correction one day. The next day, people were buying it, right? Like, this is a digital product that I'm just typing. The next day, money was in, people started buying and money started ringing in my account for the book. So it's that simple, like it's that straightforward. Once you understand a number of things, and I'll talk about some things in terms of how do you even outline, because you know, sometimes it's okay, what do I put in a book? What do I write in a book, etc. and all that. Now, you can also have courses, right? Courses are designed, you know, another, I want to say this, one of the things people always say when it comes to monetizing your knowledge, they say, oh, and you hear people say this, and if you have said it before, don't say it again, right? People say, hey, why do you have to pay for a course when I can Google? Please Google if you want to Google. But the honest truth is, what you will learn from a course that somebody has designed and properly thought through and arranged will get you faster to your results than Google. You could be Googling for 10 years. You know, there are things that you are trying to learn that you've been Googling for years that you don't know. You can agree that there are things that you might have been Googling for years and you don't even know. So it's and that's the reason why you have courses, which can be live courses or on-demand courses. So for example, somebody is talking about how to do budgeting. You can do a short course on budgeting, right? Like, especially somebody who's in the financial space. How do you budget for maybe your household or your family? Or you can do budgeting for household managers, right? Like, regardless of the amount that you make, right? Like what people are trying to do right now, apart from making money, they're also trying to figure out how to manage the money that they have. So if you have been into planning and budgeting, etc., you might have that skill, and you might say, how do I do a short course for people? And it can be a course that you record, or it can be a live course that you do a series of sessions and just teach people and put a fee on it, right? Webinars are one-time events and sessions where you can pay people. For example, what I'm doing now, I'm doing it as a sort of free webinar, but I've done this before for Speak Like a Pro, where I collaborated with my friend Candice, and then we did a 3-hour webinar, and we did it was $99, but we had a discount, but we did $39 for people as well. So, and that was like a 3-hour webinar where we were training people on something as well. And so you can monetize a webinar, right? Online events and summits. So recently we did the free summit, which was the Profitable Side Hustle Summit. We had close to 1,000 people in participation, and the online events are other things you can monetize. Now, we had close to 1,000 people. Imagine we could charge all those 1,000 people $5,000, even if we're not making a, sorry, did I say $5,000? $5 per person, or $2 per person, or $2.5 per person, you know, to attend, and they got a lot of great knowledge. That's like $2,000 or $2,500 for a day summit that we did, right? Of course, we did the marketing and the planning. We put together everything, productized it. But I'm just telling you, you can choose. We did that for free because we wanted to use it. And I'll say this as well. There are some things that you do for free. You call them sort of lead magnets, and you use them to attract people to the other offerings I want to do. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm sharing with you guys. But the truth is that at the end of the day, I'm going to share with you Planbpreneur Innovation Academy, which is a paid program, which is super, super, super duper great one that you might think of investing in. Now, toolkits, worksheets, templates, right? We have the Profitable Side Hustle toolkit, which is a toolkit that we are selling, is at $19, right? People have done worksheets, people have done templates, Canvas templates, accounting templates, design templates, you know, all sorts of things, planning templates. You can sell the templates as a package, right? And say, you know, for example, project planning templates. If you're a project planning manager, easy project planning templates, put it in the pack. People sell things like PowerPoint templates, design templates, you know. I remember last week, somebody was asking for templates during our session last week. Those are things that you can monetize, right? Simply, a template is a guideline that allows people to be able to replicate an activity, right? So you have segments in it where people can fill in their information. For example, one of the things we put in our book was a systems and structure template. So for example, people want to create standard operating procedures, right? You can create a template, put that out there for them. Membership subscriptions. Membership subscriptions usually are things that people can pay for repeatedly. So you're giving value to people on a continuous basis and they can repeatedly pay for this. And so, for example, you might have a platform where people are getting knowledge or are getting monthly training and workshops and they pay an amount. We have a Planbpreneur platform that is just like that, that is at $9 per month, where people can get professional content, resources, case studies, interaction, community with other experts, live webinars, opportunities, right? And it's at $9 per month that we set that up, launching that shortly. So those are things that you can monetize in terms of knowledge, right? You use a membership subscription and say, you know what, I know how to sell, so I'm going to sell. There's one of my friends who does selling, and he does a monthly selling thing. So this month, you might be teaching. So you pay a subscription for an amount, and this month you might be teaching prospecting, and then you're doing both teaching and practice and feedback. Next month is another type with another component of selling, closing the deal, right? You might be teaching closing the deal next month, or in another month, it might be teaching you profiling, etc. It might be teaching, and so you can do that. You can break it apart and just tell people subscribe, because sometimes people might not be able, if you said you wanted to sell $200, right? $240 for you for something, depending, some people would buy it, but another strategy to also sell it is to say, sell it over 12 months. So people pay $20 per month for it. And then you teach them the entire thing over a year, especially for things that they have to practice, like selling, like I was saying, it can be done that way. Then speaking, training, and adjunct teaching, right? Like you can package what you have into a workshop topic and offer it to organizations, and train for it, or put out your speaking topics, right? Once you are able to speak, and understand how to put out your speaking, and then of course adjunct teaching, right? When I talk about adjunct teaching, especially people who are in, some people understand this, and this is really teaching in maybe like business schools and all that. And I do that. I did get I have opportunities to teach where it's in business schools, for example, and that is um, uh, I do have one at the moment that I'm looking to grow into many more opportunities, but it's also another way to monetize your knowledge, which is great because some of these business schools are set up and they need somebody who can bring practical experience to come to the business school and teach. And once they feel like you have teaching credentials, maybe you have a master's or you have a PhD or something, you can go pursue adjunct opportunities. Of course, coaching is another thing. Like I mentioned to you, I do coaching programs, and I've had people do coaching. And so these are some of the ways that you might be able to monetize. Now, as you are creating products, right, what are the things you should keep in mind? Whether you're creating a course, whether you're creating a membership platform, what are the ways that you should plan your content, or you should plan your resource that you're giving to people? The first thing is, what problem are you going to help people solve? Don't forget, this is the first thing. And you want to stagger it like that. And then what results will people get? And then what do they need to know how to do, when and how, right? So what problem are you going to help them solve? What results do they get? And what do they need to know and how? And you need to communicate that. And that needs to be the component of your products. If it's a book, the same thing. And if it's give them the guidelines, show them the results they'll get, and then help them address the problem. So you can use a webinar to do that. You can use a course to do that. You can use a book to do that, and this is how you also break down your content. So people ask about, how do I know what to put in my ebook? How do I know what to put in my course? These are the questions you answer. What do people need to know to do? How, when, and how? Break it down for them, right? How do they do it? And then when you do this, this speaks to people, right? Leverage online tools or get experts when you're trying to design stuff like ebooks, create videos, make landing pages. Like I told you earlier on, I run Wengi Design as well, design. So we actually do have a design service that we do for people. I'm going to find a way to wrap this up. I just want to know that you guys are with me and that you're getting value. Please let me know if you are with me and if you are getting value out of this. Please let me know in the chat. I've been speaking all by myself for several minutes, and I want to be sure that this is meaningful or this is helpful for you so far. Please put in the chat. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. That's good. Very helpful, right? Very helpful. I see the value has been immense. Very helpful tip. I want to see your comments in the chat box. Please put getting a lot of value. Thank you. Getting a value well and content as well. That's good to know. I love that. Please. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. And you're gonna have this recording. You will be able to rewatch it if there are things that I just zoomed off and maybe you didn't hear everything I said. So there's going to be the recording available. Now, selling, this is one of the biggest things. Like I said, how do you sell and get users? Number one is communicate the I love it. I love it. I don't know whose name this is because I'm seeing everybody as Mobolaji Atolabi, unfortunately, but this is important. New ideas are brewing in my mind with action and then immediately I finish. Please go and action on them. I want to connect with you. I want to hear your actioning of them. And I want to work with you as well if there are things that I can help you with, support you, and we can get you through the process. So as you get those ideas, so we'll make the lines open. Communicate. So communicate the offer clearly, right? So let people know what will be the results for them. So communicate the offer. You know, like I was saying earlier, package the offer. So number one, let me give an example. So for example, there are different, like I was telling you, Speak Like a Pro has a book. It has a webinar product, and it also has a coaching product. So you see, one particular thing can have different formats. And you can say the one for the webinar is to get quick, fast ideas on how to improve your speaking. The one for coaching is in-depth support, right? And feedback on your coaching, on your speaking process, because in that one, I actually work with you one-on-one or in a group and give feedback on your communication and your speaking skills, right? And then you can also have the one for the book. The offer might be read this at your own pace, you know, so you want to communicate the offer that each type of product that you are creating is given to people clearly. You want to communicate that. Now, the other thing is, how do you get people, put the product in a place where people can buy? So for example, the sales page and the platform, if it's a digital thing, there's tons of options for sales pages and platforms that you can use today, from seller.co to equid.com to even a simple WordPress blog. You can create a place where people can see, because the thing is, when somebody wants to buy products, you can, I think even Zoom is trying to make it possible for people, okay, not to buy products, but actually to pay for events. So if you wanted to do a webinar, you can actually use Zoom to even sell a webinar, and people can pay from Zoom. So you can use a multiple number of payment platforms or product hosting platforms or a sales page. And essentially what you're doing with the sales page is you're highlighting what the benefits of this product is, or this program is. You're highlighting some of the high-level details, right? For example, if you wanted to check out our Planbpreneur toolkit, you can go to bundle.planbpreneur.com. You'll see an example of what I mean by that sales page. But you can also the profitable side also toolkit. But you can build your own platforms, or you can also use the platform. Now, one of the other things, especially on the continent, that is a bit tricky, and my teammates will tell you, has been an headache for us sometimes, is payments. Because let's be honest, this is where one of the challenges comes in, especially if you're trying to sell a product across borders. Now, if you're in one market, you can easily use the payment strategies in that market and do things like bank transfer or mobile money, but sometimes you need to use other things. So imagine, for example, the Planbpreneur Action Guide. I had somebody, we have people who bought from the US, we have people who purchase from Nigeria, we have people who purchase from Mauritius, we have people who purchase from Rwanda. Now, the people who purchased, they are as different, the payment options are as different as the people that purchase. The person in Mauritius, or the people, somebody in Mauritius, because there are other people, but I'm using some of the examples. Somebody in Mauritius bought with cards, somebody in Rwanda with mobile money, somebody in Nigeria with bank transfer. So the thing is, sometimes you need to think through, how are people going to pay for your products, and you want to create those options, right? Because sometimes the delay, there's a product that we were selling, and for almost 2 to 3 weeks, somebody in Swaziland, Eswatini, wanted to buy the digital product, but the payment, we were using Flutterwave, it wasn't working. Eventually, we had to use another platform that we've been using, and that person was able to successfully buy the product. So that's something you should be mindful of, especially because it can be a gateway to monetization. You have to think through that before you put your product out, because somebody might be ready to buy today, but if they can't pay today, they might delay. And then, after delay, momentum just goes down, so, but the other thing you can do, even when you give people, is say, hey, if you don't have a payment option, you can message us and we can figure out to get you to pay, and then you work on that. Unfortunately, especially on the continent, payment interoperability of payment systems is clearly a challenge, and bank transfers take a long time, might be costly, except you're selling a very bulky product that you don't mind doing bank transfers. But there are platforms that might be able to help you to do this, right? And of course, selling. You have to do, if you're starting out, today we run Facebook ads, we do affiliates, we use a number of other platforms, but then at the early start, I leveraged a lot of my network, right? I leveraged a lot of telling people one-on-one, saying this is ATTC and all that. Today we pay influencers to sell some products just to make it the reach wider. So these influencers on Instagram or Facebook that have an audience, you can sell to them. And then you also use things like this webinars to also sell. So, but then importantly, like I said, one-on-one, affiliates, partnerships. Affiliates essentially are other people who are selling either on your behalf or and are gaining a commission, right, so to speak. And so sometimes you might even feel like, I have a great product, but I don't know how to sell it. But I know people around me that will be interested in making some money out of it. And instead of keeping all the money to yourself, because that's one of the ways you can actually start that can make it fun for you, is work with other people that might be interested and have an audience and want to sell it. Make them affiliates, right? Give them part of the money, and then you will be able to at least increase what you are selling. And then just a few things that I wrap this up to say is, so starting out, as you start out this journey of monetizing your knowledge, test out free offers, right? I told you about the concept of lead magnets. There are things that we do that are free. So for example, I'm doing this free webinar. Get on the webinar, do a free ebook, recently, now let me give you something interesting. There's a client of mine that has bought a $49 workshop, bought another $200 product. Maybe one day he's going to buy $2,000 product. But how did she get to know about what I did? Through a free ebook. So and that's part of the things in monetizing your knowledge. You want to demonstrate, you want to reduce the trust barriers. When people see what you've done, for example, and they hear, like you're hearing from me, the likelihood that they trust and then maybe they will be able to pay and this is practically what I've seen. People have seen some of the free workshops, have been a part of it, and then they have now come to buy all the paid stuff. For example, we did the Profitable Side Hustle Summit, it was free. And then people that attended that summit for free are paying for the toolkit, right? So you want to try out free stuff to reduce the barriers. And, especially if you're trying out the idea for the first time, the free stuff will allow you to also improve on your product or your offering, right? Then start experimenting with paid offers and do paid offers. And once somebody pays, if you have never monetized your knowledge product before, let me tell you something. Once the first person pays for your product, your confidence just goes. So you need that first sale. That first sale is critical. Once you see that bank notification or that bank alert for what you've always thought that maybe you couldn't make money out of, just takes your confidence to another level. So once you get that free thing, the next thing you're chasing is the number of paid offers, and then you can grow that. And of course, you start building your brand, your reputation on social media, visibility. Let people know. You might not have 1 million followers, but let people know on social media what you do, what you're selling, what you're monetizing. Put out first on your social media platforms, put it on your status, on your Instagram, your Facebook, your stuff, put in your description. And then people after a while will come to associate that with you, because the knowledge is really what comes from you. And so people are going to associate with you. And then join communities as well. I'm going to stop there for today. I think I've said quite a bit. And then I'm going to see, are there any questions? So please put your questions in the chat, but you can also put some of the things you have learned and some of the things you're taking away today in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. Any questions from everything that I have shared so far? Any questions? How can someone find the perfect niche to start? Good question. There is not a perfect niche. That is one thing I would say. And you can't start with a perfect niche. So you're going to improve as you go. But so that's the first thing I will say. But the other thing is you can find something that you increase the chances of success. And what I mean by that is find something that you can offer confidently, like I said at the beginning. So find the intersection between what I can offer confidently and what solves a problem for a particular target audience. If you can match what you can offer confidently with what you can solve, that is a good place. So let me give you an example. Speak Like a Pro wasn't always Speak Like a Pro. I think it was another name. So that's why it's not perfect from the start. It is something that improves. But then Speak Like a Pro, I realized there are people who make presentations, I can target them and they speak and they're interested in pitching themselves. And then I can offer speaking confidently. So I started those things. And then over time, it became Speak Like a Pro, like a brand, So I'll tell you, don't wait to find a perfect niche to start. Just figure out, the easiest way is figure out, what do I know? What can I do? What can I, and what part of that is something that other people need, that is a problem for other people. And then kick off with that. Call it a name, kick off with that. Offer something for free. The likelihood is that if you offer it for free for the first time, you will get feedback from people. Even you doing it, you will realize, okay, I can do this better next time. Maybe you do it for free again. Then get a confidence and say, okay, you know what, let me put some money on it. Let me put a price on it. Now, takes me to the next question. Again, because I can't see the names, forgive me, I'm just going to rule with, I might not be able to address you by name. I don't know what's happening with Zoom and changing everybody's name. What are the determinants of price, especially for a new product service? Good question. There are a number of things, right? There are a number of things. Some of it is value, the inherent value. Some of it is, because pricing is an art, right? Pricing is a strategic thing that you might be doing for a number of reasons, right? But you need to know why you price. But at the end of the day, the price for somebody is the value that they get out of it. You might put, don't forget that somebody's going to buy it. So the value that somebody's going to get out of it is going to determine how they perceive the price. So the more you can create value and make that value irresistible, you can get flexibility with the price. The other thing is your target audience. Your target audience, there are certain prices that if you put before certain target audience, they will not be able to pay. And there are prices that if you put before certain target audience, they'll think you're joking. Let me give you an example. There are, for example, in our website design, we've done websites for clients that clients have paid like $200 for. But we've also done websites and costed websites that are close to 4,000 euros. And the difference is not heaven and earth. The difference is really what the client expects and the value and the attention and all that. Now, there's other things we give to the client that has a 4,000 euro kind of website, of course, but websites, one client, another client. If I told this client of 4,000 euros that our website is done at $200, you know what is going to happen. They're just going to laugh. It's not even going to buy. By the way, we're not doing $200 website. Don't come at me before $200 website. But I'm kidding. If you want to do a website and you want to come to us, we're more than happy to reach on it. Now I'm talking about pricing. So you see, the client, the target market is important, right? The same way there are certain clients I can tell like that might not be able to pay like that, right? So for us, what we've done, for example, and for me, is that I've tried to create products across different levels of people. So for example, you see that Speak Like a Pro has a book that is cheap, like $4, has a webinar that's like $39, has a coaching product that is like $100 for group coaching and $400 to $500 for personalized coaching, so that is different target audiences of people. And based on what they can pay, you're able to channel a product or a value offering for them. The other thing is that you might be doing price crashing in order to establish a brand. So you might have something super valuable. Yes, it's worth 500. Or you might decide and say, you know what, I'm going to do it at $99. I'm going to do it at $49. I want $99 because you want to build trust and results in the product. And then people over time other people can pay for it and you can steadily increase the price. So if you're starting out, I would say do a price that at least shows that it's a valuable product people can pay for. And keep it in a range where you know that a target audience can pay for, and then use that to build your confidence as you sell more products. There are people who sell products that are $10,000, right? Coaching products. I haven't sold $10,000 coaching products. Maybe one day I will. But that is an important part of it, right? Yeah. Any other questions? I see somebody says, from what I learned today, I need to begin and learn as I go. There will be some failures and some successes. The major problem I see is lack of confidence. Yeah, and I have the fear, and you have the fear of failure. Yeah, so I need people in this place to take action. If you all went and took action and you came back and told me that you got results, you know how joyful that would be, like especially if you haven't done it before or you want to do it at another level. But of course, like I said, we can support you, we can help you. Sometimes it's a process. Sometimes you need a coach, you need guidance, you need more knowledge, there's some of the skill sets where it comes to like detail in terms of creating the products where you will need more insight. Sometimes you might even be going and what you need is feedback, question, community, etc. and all that. Those are things that we can provide for you. And that sort of leads me to share with you what Planbpreneur Innovation Academy does. And just give me a few minutes as we wrap up, as I share with you. So if you're trying to start a new business and an income stream, something like monetizing your knowledge, consulting and all that. By the way, if you missed the consulting session last week, you should check it out on YouTube. It was fabulous. A lot of great insights, right? On how to be a freelance consultant and monetize freelance consultant. If you want to stay relevant, explore options, create new income and impact. If you want to become more entrepreneurial and monetize your knowledge and expertise, or want to engage with a community of experts and launch your idea and project, then this is the place you want to go. Planbpreneur Innovation Academy. Like I told you, we've got a super experienced group of people who are doing all this stuff, and you want to be hanging out with experts as well, and allowing them to rub off on you, give you feedback, help you to monetize. And like I said at the start, Andrew, um, uh, Stella, Lola, Dr. Funshaw, Candace, myself are some of the coaches you will meet inside Planbpreneur Academy. Now look at what you've gained in 1 hour. And I know I was rushing through, but imagine having 6 sessions where you will give you toolkits, a worksheet, you're walking through it, you're doing it as we're speaking. I'm seeing your result, we're giving you feedback, and we space it, right? We space it over a couple of days, up to 3 weeks, so that you can do from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. You can get feedback, you can get support from us, right? A lot of the stuff beyond this, that is what Planbpreneur Innovation Academy is about. So what will you find there? Expert coaches, action learning. So people who have attended Planbpreneur Innovation Academy will tell you, we're not teaching you knowledge. This night where you all were just listening to me, when you attend Planbpreneur Innovation Academy, you're doing stuff. So we hold you accountable. You see what I mean? And then we have a flexible schedule. If you're working full time, you can always do later in the evening. We do evenings, and maybe spacing across a number of weeks so that you can have time to really like build that. And then you have the milestone system. So we focus on milestones. I've gone to business school. I've done trainings, etc. and all that. For me, it's not about the knowledge that you get, but the milestones, the things you're able to accomplish. And that's why we've built into Planbpreneur Innovation Academy. And of course, one of the most beautiful things people tell us about, especially the last quarter of Planbpreneur Innovation Academy, the workshops we held, is the community, the other people that are doing this, that are giving you that ginger, because sometimes you're trying to do some of this stuff and then you go off by yourself. You tell yourself, after this webinar, I'm going to do, and then because you're by yourself, you're the only one, like, I will do it tomorrow, and then procrastination sets in and all that. But when you have a community, and we encourage our community to share what they're doing, and it challenges other people. So community is critical, and of course, implementation support. So you get expert coaching, action learning, flexible schedules, milestone system, community and accountability, and implementation. And what are we teaching there? A number of things. So some of the things I've told you today, in our full launch program, we go into a lot of these things in detail, right? And you get worksheets to walk through. So how do you find, somebody was asking a question, how do you find the perfect idea? We won't call it a perfect idea, we'll call it a profitable idea. And so you use the worksheets, you write down, and then you actually come out with the perfect idea. Like, we do that in real time. How do you find your first set of customers? We don't want you to just be creating anything. We want to make sure that you find your first set of customers. So we teach the strategies, we use a framework. How do you productize? How do you create your value offering, right? What is a value offering? We teach you that. That is something people are willing to pay for. How do you launch your value offering? We teach you that. How do you build your personal digital brand, right? Because the digital brand, at the end of the day, is going to get into what you're selling, and because you're monetizing your knowledge, people are going to want to come to you. And then we talk about monetizing your knowledge in itself. Again, we show you some of the things I've taught you and more, especially when it comes to how do you break down the product's outline and all that. And then, of course, how do you generate leads, right? Leads are potential people to buy. And then what are the creative ways you can finance? People sometimes think, and people ask questions all the time, even for this webinar, people were asking, how do I make money with no money? True, you can make money with no money. You can start from some. So there are creative strategies, or how do I reduce the cost of starting, right? These are things, creative financing strategies that you might be able to use. Then importantly, how do you build systems and structure? Because the concept of passive income is that in some cases, you can even just allow the money to auto come in while you're sleeping, and some of the things I told you about monetizing your knowledge, like for example, somebody buys a book or somebody pays for a toolkit or a course. I'm not there. I don't even know what is happening. I just check and then I see the thing on my phone, right? How you develop your business model, right? Business model is a critical thing. And then entrepreneurial thinking for people that are new to entrepreneurship, how do you do that? And then of course, sales and marketing strategies. So you've seen a ton of stuff, all this content's designed to help you actually monetize the knowledge beyond what you've learned today. Imagine getting all this and more. I'm sure with what you've learned today from me, you can go and do stuff. And I even want to hear all what you're able to do. But imagine that you're able to get even more support, especially if you're serious about getting this stuff out and there in a short time. That's what Planbpreneur Innovation Academy will help you to do. And then we have two main offers that we are in our next cohort that's happening starting March 28. There is what we call the incubation lab and the launch lab. So the incubation lab is a shorter 3-week thing where you have up to 6 live workshops that we do with our experts, myself and a number of the other people that you saw will be leading those workshops. And then we give you, and that happens over 2 weeks. And then we have an extra week of support as you are implementing. You can ask us questions, you can get feedback, you can get results. And then you have the replays of the session, you have worksheets and templates, and then design and tech discounts. So if you are trying to get your logo or ebook design, and we've done that for some of our participants, or you're trying to design your landing page, etc., we have discounts on helping you do that. The other one, which is a launch lab, which is longer, which is actually like, okay, you want to be grounded and you want to do more workshops, more coaching sessions with us, is the 6-week launch lab. And we have 10-day live workshops spread over that period. And then you have three weeks and then 3 extra weeks of support. You have the session replays, you have worksheets and templates, and then you have free design and tech package. Now this one is, if you're trying to, this one is a shortcut. This one is the best package. It is the best, hands down, because we do your free design and tech package, and I'll tell you what that is in a bit in the launch lab. And then of course you get 1 month free access to our online resource platform, which also has other resources that and tools and stacks that will help you to go monetize your knowledge, but also create this stuff. And the free design package I was talking with the launch lab, imagine getting your logo design and redesign, and then your landing page or your sales page done, and then or a brochure and a lead magnet, which is like an ebook, done for you for free with content calendar ideas by Wenge Design. It is the ultimate best deal ever, in my opinion. And then you get all those things in a 6-week workshop. You can already begin to think about what the value is. I know in your mind, you're just like, hey, they're going to call like thousands of dollars, etc. and all that. And if you thought that way, you wouldn't be wrong, right? Because it is really a very, and we've done this, and we've improved it. And so you can be sure that you're getting the best if you're doing the Planbpreneur Innovation Academy. Now, again, because we've done and we've worked with a number of people, these are some of the people that we've worked with and the feedback they've gotten. So Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, our participants come from everywhere, right? And look at Tendai, who I think might be here or should have been here, who is now really pushing our brand and our products and our work. Started that up from the workshop, crystallized some of the ideas. She already had some ideas, but needed some guidance and some support. And we've even beyond that continued to engage and support her. And now she's putting out her stuff. People are getting what she's into and all that. She's helping women who are in the older women maximize their lives. And she has a concept called Unfold and all that, and she's teaching people what she knows because she has experienced some of that. And then this is Augustine from Sierra Leone. Augustine was even starting out and didn't know, he had some skills and some knowledge, but he didn't know how to monetize it, right? And he does a lot of proofreading, assisted writing and stuff for people. And then we helped him in the Planbpreneur Innovation Academy convert that into a business such that he was looking for a job, but then this new thing that he got occupied him. It became his plan A, according to him, instead of his, because we talk about Planbpreneur. And so Augustine's plan A, B became his plan A. It just became the thing that was occupying him while he was and getting clients and getting work and looking out for work after he had done the Planbpreneur workshop. And so we teach things that actually are practical, and we push you to apply them. And we push you to get results. We push you to get clients. We push you to get tangible things that you can show, right? And Jackson as well, Jay Akko as well speaks about his experience here. So these are a few of the people that have gone through the program. And again, these are your coaches. I can vouch for all of this coach. I haven't launched Planbpreneur, I haven't done all this work, and personally picked and selected all those people. I can tell you for sure that if you're hanging out with these guys, even if you don't launch a product, your expertise is going to go to another level. What you can do is going to go to another level, but they're going to bring the guidance and all that, right? So I haven't said all this. I just told you who the experts you're hanging out with, what other people have benefited, free design package that you get with the Launch Lab, the two programs we have, the topics, how the Planbpreneur Innovation Academy is structured to set you up for success. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to try with me. How much do you think that this program might be worth? Let's just guesstimate. Just put a guess in the chat. This is, you're not paying, don't worry, there's already a price to it. You're not paying by guessing. But what do you think that the program might be worth? Whether it's the incubation lab or the launch lab. I want to hear your thoughts. I'm just curious. I want to hear your thoughts. I'll show you what it's worth, but I want to hear your thoughts. Please put in the chat. What do you think it might be worth? What would you say it's worth? Please put in the chat. No wrong answer. No wrong answer. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Somebody just try. If you say $1 billion, I'll be like, yay, we're good. We're going to take it. If you say $1, I'll be like, okay. Okay. Are you guys still with me? Please put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. What do you think it might be worth for 3 weeks or the 6 weeks? Put in the, I want to see in the comments. Hello, are you guys still with me, or you left me here by myself? Wild guess, $2,000. I love this person. I love this person. Thank you. I don't know what your name is because I'm seeing Mobology. I don't know who this is, but yeah, $2,000. You're right. Who else? What else? What else? What else? So we could actually just say $2,000, and then we get people to go and we go for it. I want to see one more at least, or two more. People don't be afraid. Don't worry. Oh, Julius from Uganda. Thank you, Julius. Somebody says $1,000. Yeah, you will be right, because I do 2-day trainings at $1,000. So if you say $1,000, I will be, you'll be right to, you won't be overstepping, right? And you can guarantee that it's valued, right? So somebody said $2,000, somebody said $1,000. You guys are rich. I already are balling in dollars, because I see thousands and thousands of dollars. I thought I was going to see like $1, but you people are not. But this is what we've pegged the program to be. So the 3-week program is at $249, and the 6-week program is at $499. Now, why did we do that? We did that because we understand that even though a program might be worth $1,000, we want to put it in a range that people can afford. Now, think about this. This is a 6-week program at $500. I've paid this amount for 6-day programs before. I've paid this amount for programs that are shorter. And so imagine you're getting a six-week program at this amount. It is fabulous. It's a great offer. It's something you should jump at. Or a 3-week program at $249 for that matter. Now, you will be comfortable, hopefully, paying this. I would love to see you in class, right? See you the session. But guess what? There's one more. You are not going to pay those amounts, right? You right here, right now, if you're joining and you're planning to join a class, we've gone even much more beyond, and we've thought through what, again, we've looked at affordability, we've looked at a number of factors, the impact we want to create, and the value we want to give to people. And so we have done something more, the special discount. So this is what the program is currently priced at. It is ridiculous. And for a number of reasons, we have done this. It's crazy ridiculous. It won't always be this way. When we did this program the last time, this program, which was 3 weeks, which is now 3 weeks, when we did the last time, we had our class, complete class, it was 6 days, we did at $49. When we asked people for the pricing, they said, do it. This is for the price, the feedback people gave us was, this is what more than $49. So, and we've added more to it. So this is not always going to be the price, it's going to change. But why are we doing this? We're building an ecosystem. We're helping people. We're building for other things that we're doing as well. So if I were you, this is the best that it can be. 3 weeks, $49. Spread over 3 weeks. Workshops, six live workshops spread over 3 weeks at $49 is a steal, right? With design and tech. But what is even a bigger steal is, and these are unbelievable offers for anywhere. You can quote me anywhere. I've been in this industry for a while. 6 weeks, the 6-week one with the 10-day live workshop and three weeks of support, the session replays, and especially the free design and tech package. Don't forget what I told you about the free design and tech package. It is your landing page, your lead magnet, your logo design or redesign. You're getting that for free. We're doing it at $199. It is hands down the best deal. And our next cohort, which we're currently enrolling people for, is starting on March 28th, right? It's starting on March 28th. So you have somewhere between 18 days etc, but you can get in right here, right now. Now, these are details on how to register and how to pay. You can go to, so we've really made this super affordable because we want to work with you as well. We want to help you achieve those goals. We want your testimonials to be the next set of testimonials that we will be sharing when we're recruiting the next class, of course. And then we want it to be just that way. We want to help you achieve your goals of creating new income and impact. Guys, this is March. This is the end of March. I'm sure you had goals when you started January. If you haven't hit those goals already, then you need to be doing something different. You need to be adding more value to yourself to be able to do that, especially if it's creating more income and impact. And this is an opportunity that might be, thanks for putting that in the chat, Balaji. And this is an opportunity that in March you can use to get yourself started on that journey. I'm personally looking forward to engaging with you, working with you, collaborating with you, supporting you on this journey. So you are the one who is now going to press the button and say, I'm in. Now, again, look at what we've done. We've crashed super affordable, $49 for incubation lab and $199 for launch lab with everything that you get. It is one of the best deals out there, out anywhere, hands down, okay? And this is how you can pay. You can go right now and make the payment. If you want to pay twice for Launch Lab, let's say you want to pay, okay, I want to start with $100 and pay the other $100 before the end of the program, then you can get your seat, right? And there's an option to pay twice, put in the chat there. One last thing before I call it a night, because I know you need to get some rest, I need to get some rest, but we need to make a decision to move to the next level. Now, if you register within the next 24 hours, this is something we're going to do for you. We have the videos from the Profitable Side Hustle Summit, where our speakers were talking about how to get into affiliate marketing, how they are making money with email marketing, content creation, copywriting, lead generation, TikTok, WhatsApp, and we are selling that at $10. But if you register for any of this launch lab or incubation lab before this end of this time tomorrow, you're going to get these videos for free, which is so we're going to put that as a cherry on the cake. Now tell me why you would not register. Tell me, after spending this time with me this evening, sharing all the strategies, all the results that I'm personally getting that will help people to get, and showing you what's in it for you to help you put 2022 on an even better track. Tell me why you will not jump on the deal and let us together make it happen. So I would say, if you want to get in, you can go to that link and you can pay right away. You can copy the link and put it down. You can screenshot it so that you can make the payment before 24 hours and get on the deal, right? But whatever you do, I want to see you in class. I want to see you in those sessions. I want to see you actually, you've promised, you've said you're going to get a result, but I want to actually see the results that you're getting and give you the feedback and make sure that you actually get it along with the other expert coaches. You can send an email or add this WhatsApp number as well if you have any challenges with payment, so that we can help you resolve that. Now, let me ask a question. Who wants to join us in class when we start on March 28th? Please put in the chat. Put a yes or a maybe. Who wants to join us in the, when I say class, who wants to join us in the program when we start on March 28th? Yes, maybe. If you say no, I'll just send you, I'm kidding, but put a yes in the chat or a maybe. There's a yes in the chat. Awesome. Who else wants to join us? Who else wants to join us when we start on March 28th? Who else are we going to see in the class? Who else are we going to see? I don't know whose name is this. Yes, I'm so sorry. This Zoom thing. What's your name? Please just put your name in the chat. Let me see the names of people. If you want to join us, just put your name. Yes, right? Don't forget, when you join us, you are getting all this. You are making an investment. We call it an investment, not a fee. I told you personally, some of the things that we're now getting to break down to you or to teach to you, we have the programs have gone to paid hundreds of much more. Somebody says, maybe we need to get you over the edge, but it's good to hear that you're even thinking about it. Who else is there? Who wants to join us? We have a yes, we have a yes, we have a maybe. Any other person? I'm curious to know the names. Would you mind putting your name in the chat so that I can just see who put the responses? My name, yes. My name, yes. I'll put that there. Please put that in the chat so that I'll see. But if you said a yes, if you get your payment in before tomorrow, before this time tomorrow, there is going to be this free registration offer. Like, you're going to get the $10 the videos on the Profitable Side Also Summit, and might be the only time that we're giving this. The only reason, in fact, for other people that are registering for this program, we don't actually give them this 24-hour registration offer. It's only on the webinar we give it. So in our Facebook ads, in our other email blasts, in our other affiliate marketing strategies, you won't see this 24-hour registration offer. The only reason you're giving it is because we've been friends for the past 90 minutes. And then you are here right now. That is the reason that we are giving that. So if you want to clinch it, it will be gone after tomorrow. So if you register after that, you will still get all the goodness of the sessions, but you might not get this 24-hour registration offer. Somebody says, after March 28th, is there any future class to plan for? Yes, we're going to run future classes. We're not running anywhere. We're here, and we're going to announce that. So we're going to also let you know, if you're saying, oh, I don't have funds now, or I want to plan towards it next time, yes, we have other class planned for. But if you can get started on your journey right away, the earlier the better. I'll tell you for sure that for me, just looking back at building momentum over time, it's always like you should have started yesterday. So do not delay. If you can start yesterday, start yesterday. Like somebody said, the earliest time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second earliest time is today. No, the earliest time was 10 years ago, but the second earliest time is today, you know. So while it's hot, strike the iron while it's hot. I know also people are trying to take decisions that will move them forward, but sometimes people say, okay, I'm going to think about it and procrastinate. And then you ask yourself, how many times you procrastinated on stuff like this that went away that you don't even remember? Like you saw an opportunity that you could have stepped into and you could have changed things. And then you procrastinated and said, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then guess what? It has not happened. So this one, I would advise you do not procrastinate. If you feel like you want to jump on it, if you have said a yes, go ahead and pay for it. If you're in Rwanda, if you want to use mobile money to make payments, etc., or you want to use bank transfers to make payments, if you're in another country, we have payment options, right? You can hello@planbpreneur.com, or you can get this number on WhatsApp. Okay. Any other person joining us or thinking about joining us in the class, any other person joining us, just to say, you know, as you put in the chat if you're trying to join us. But guys, I can't wait to see you in this cohort and in this program. The guys who did the last cohort, number one, are grinding, but still have nostalgia of the results and the progress that they made in the cohort. So myself, the team, all our coaches, we're looking forward to working with you. The world has changed. It's a volatile world. If you're not creating more income and impact and continue to grow in that strategy, you're in a delay. Don't put yourself in the risk if you're not creating more income and impact. If you have only one or even only two streams of income, you know, you need to actively do something about it. And that's why we're here. That's what we're trying to do for you. That's what we're going to do with you. And we can't wait to have you. So the two people that said, yes, I understand, or I assume that you're going to get you're going to make your payment, but also you're going to make your payment and then you are going to get this 24-hour registration offer so that you get even a more complete package and you learn some of these other digital stuff, right? So as we round off, there's going to be another time next week, another webinar that we're going to do. I'm going to have one of the coaches join us. And so look out for more information on the webinars that we're going to do. So Thursday, again, we're going to be here. Drag somebody along. They're going to have a value field Thursday evening. Don't forget, go and practice what we talked about today. But beyond the practice, get into the group. Let's help you. Let's work together and let's support you. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had a great time this evening, and I hope that you've had a great time, and this has helped you, and that I'm going to see you in the Planbpreneur Innovation Academy. I want to wish you a good rest of your evening, and I guess we are going to be seeing you. Feel free to reach out at any point, reach out to our WhatsApp, reach out to our email if you have further questions. If you have paid, once you pay, we're going to see the notification, your email and stuff. We're going to contact you, we're going to set you up, and then we're going to go to the next level, okay? So wishing you a very good rest of your evening. Thank you. I know they move that way. Don't make me move that way. I know I sleep for highway. Cause look at your side. Yeah, no come look at some jobs. So I said, for a long time, I was silent. I didn't run out, I'm studying. But they think say, cause I don't know how to find me. I'll be your most so bad. I'll be your most so bad. I'll be your most so bad. I'll be your most